How I got paid subscribers for my app with $0. That is the deep dive that I'm going into today. You can follow along on my Medium blog that I'm going to have linked below, or you can just continue to watch this video and I will go into detailed steps of what I did to make sure to get paid subscribers and how to replicate the same success for your own app or startup. I had a long list of failures when it came to apps and startups before I got to my first profitable one. And when I finally got my first profitable one, I noticed a pattern and then I pivoted and then I was able to replicate that pattern going forward. And what I mean by failure is I had a bunch of bad fits. I'm convinced after this journey, and this journey that I'm currently on is that I am releasing 12 different apps and startups in 12 months. And like I said, I didn't have any success at first, and then finally I got one profitable app, and it was because I finally found the right fit. The previous ideas, I realized they weren't bad, they just were a bad fit or didn't have a market value to them. And if you haven't been following along on my journey online, my name is Marsha. I'm an agronomist farmer turned software engineer, and I enjoy helping other businesses, especially in agriculture, save time, money, and energy through automations. And I love building software applications and helping communities out. Before I forget, I'm actually going to break out my iPad so I don't forget any details that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm better at explaining stuff if I use a real life example, so I'm going to use the real life example of Bun Index. This is a rabbit breeding management app, and this was my first big success where it turned a profit the first month that it launched, and we got subscribers signed up like right from the jump. So about this app, it helps rabbit breeders track pedigrees and also create pedigrees, and of course track show records by being able to scan them. And yeah, it just helps solve a pain point that is in the rabbit showing and breeding industry. I think what was really wonderful about creating this app is that I got to involve people that I've never met before or maybe just had a loose connection with. And with the help of a community, I built a tool that helps a bunch of people. And I feel like because of that community element, it made it so much easier of an ask when it came time to asking for putting down a credit card and asking for a subscription. I think the fact that they knew me or knew that I was listening to them really made the difference, and also made it feel like less awkward when you're involving something like money. And yeah, like I said, like launch day, we had 100 signups, and we offered a free trial. That's something I do believe in, though, is offering a free trial period, and then after that, charging. And once that was up, we got paid users rolling in, and we spent $0 on advertising, and this was all purely word of mouth and just using a community. So let's go through the steps. I've outlined some very specific steps to go through when you're also on this journey too, and you're trying to get those first few paid subscribers. So number one, I like to call this OPT, other people's talent. You know how people always say other people's money? Well, I think OPT is very important. Knowing what your strengths are, and most importantly, what your weaknesses are, and finding people that can pretty much fill that talent gap. I got really lucky when it comes to the bunny situation that I have a family member that is deeply involved in the community and well respected. And I got extra lucky that they just happened to fill in the skills gap that I didn't have. Like, I don't have all those years of experience showing bunnies in particular. I've shown horses, but totally different animal, totally different situation. And I also didn't have the graphic design and marketing skills that this person had, and customer service. And like I said, got really lucky that they were also a family member, and were able to also put in sweat equity as I did just with the code. Step two, and this is a big one, find the community first, or whatever your audience is. And that's where I really messed up when it came to the first few apps and startup ideas that I had. They weren't maybe bad ideas, but they had no audience. They had no community behind them. Now ask this audience. This is step number 3. Ask what they love and why they enjoy what they do. This really helps people open up to you because you want to get to their pain point, but especially if they don't know you. I know if it's something that they really like, they love to talk about it, even if it's with a stranger. So you just want them to open up, and who knows, you might learn a thing or two. But this leads to step 4. Once you've kind of gotten them to open up, ask them what their pain points are. What are things that make it hard to do what they love? Step 5 is asking what that pain point solving it would cost for them. The number that I kind of tend to get is $5 a month, or in a nice marketing phrase, I always like to say less than a Netflix subscription. Step 6 is when you're actually going to put into the work. You're going to build out the app, and you're going to take everybody's feedback that you talk to, genuinely listen, and take the constructive criticism that they give you when you share your results with them, and make adjustments based on what they're asking for. Step 7, you're going to continue to take their feedback, because you're going to do multiple iterations of your original idea, and they're going to come back to you and go yes, no, and give you suggestions all along the way. Step 8 is continuing to grow that community and build it, and you might do this through a referral system, or in our situation, in our use case, we just kept talking to more people. We handed out flyers. I physically went to National Convention in Indianapolis, and I got to see 30,000 rabbits. Basically, just get out there, do some grassroots, old-fashioned talking to people. Step 9, once you've kind of got a solid community, you need to build an email list, and it can be something very simple. Don't overthink this. Step 10, congratulations, you're going to launch your app. And make sure to contact everybody on that email list and in your community, and it doesn't matter what you use to contact them along with the email list. We did Facebook because that's where the majority of our audience was, but maybe it's Twitter for you, or maybe it's Discord. Step 11, you're going to offer that free trial period, and then be very clear about when that trial period ends, and use the price point that you gathered based off of talking to this community. And the 12th and final and most fun step, in my opinion, you watch those subscriptions roll on in. One thing I really like about the strategy and this grassroots idea, and it's nothing new, by the way, is that it's very easily replicatable, and I was able to replicate this again for another agricultural community, and I had so much fun doing it. I love visiting barns. I love learning what other people do, and I think it's a lot of fun for me, and I can't wait to do this with other industries too. And the best part of like this whole 12-step program, and I don't mean that 12-step program, but in this 12 steps that I'm talking about, is that it costs $0, it's free, and it's just going to cost your time. I think that very first step of finding somebody that OPT, other people's talent, is what helps me the most in my business. I know there's like a statistic out there that I can't really cite right now, but it says that most startups that fail are co-founders, or there's more than one person founding it. But in my situation, I found I really do need another team member that can kind of make up for the lack of strengths that I have in some areas. And I now know what my strengths are, is that I'm really good at shipping stuff fast. I'm not the most talented coder in the world, but if you give me a deadline, I will get it done. I am that kind of coder, even if it's a little ugly, but I will make sure that if you're telling me that we're going to ship on 1-1, we're going to ship on 1-1. But who knows? Talk to me in like 5 to 10 years from now if I think that statistic rang true in my situation cases. So somebody tag this video and definitely reach out to me in like 5 to 10 years from now and see if I think that statistic is true or not. So far it has proven not to be true, but that's just me, and I know that's not a fair comparison. So another thing I really realized in this journey about myself is that I figured out I'm not the next Steve Jobs, and I think this is where that statistic kind of rings true a little bit, even though I'd like to argue Apple was technically founded by the two Steves, and they ran it together. I know that they had some issues, but anyways, I digress. So I figured out I'm not Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg. I will never be that person that creates something new and then convinces a bunch of people that you need this, or like you don't know you need this, but you do need this. And Steve Jobs is a great example of that. He made so many awesome things, not just the computers, but I think really the iPhone, or like even the iPod too. Like it was something that was totally new, and he convinced a lot of people that this is something you need and you definitely want it. And I mean, I'm shooting off an iPhone right now as we're speaking. But I found out I'm not him. I'm not a visionary. I'm not like Mark Zuckerberg, where I can create an app and continue to maintain it and continue to grow it like he has done with Facebook. That's now Meta. And yeah, I found out where I thrive and I do my best work is helping other people, hearing about what they love, hearing about what makes it hard for them to enjoy what they love, and then seeing if I can solve that issue with automation and software. I love saving other people time, money, and energy, and it's really great if I could also make software around it too, like I've done for the rabbit breeders. All right, let me just make sure I didn't forget anything. So I learned the hard way at first that if you don't have the right market or right fit, you just end up with nothing. And I learned that the hard way. My biggest lesson to you, and I hope you take this away from all of this, is that you need to build for a community if you're looking to get paid subscribers straight out the gate, and just build. I think that's also the bigger take-home message. And so what if the first few aren't successful? I think it's just a numbers game at the end of the day, and if I look back, I learned a lot about those failed apps and startups. I learned like how to implement Mapbox correctly, and I'd never done that before. Or I learned what tech stack was working for me and what was just not right. I'd love to see and hear about what you're building, and it doesn't even have to be an app or a startup for a business or anything. I just want to hear what you're building, and it doesn't even have to be tech related. It could be that you're building a garden. I just love hearing what people are doing. So please comment below. I wish you nothing but success, and I can't wait to hear what you're building and learning. Catch you in the next one. Bye now.